Hi everybody, my name's Colleen and thank you so much for visiting onewoman1vote.org. Don't forget, our next federal election is May 2nd, 2011. Before I go any further, I want to remind everyone that onewoman1vote.org and YWCA Edmonton are completely nonpartisan. But I'm only human, so I'm not. I'll try not to let my partisan stripes show too much during these posts, but it's probably going to come out. If you don't like what I have to say, or you want to comment on it, or you want to leave us a link to one of your events, please post on our discussion board or add a comment below, or send us an email through our Contact Us button here on the website. I've been going around to different events around Edmonton to try to find out how easy or difficult or interesting it is to be a politically engaged citizen in our society. Now, I love ECAWAR. I think they're great. I think they do great work and they're trying to move the left wing into action. At first, it had all the makings of a great protest. There was signs that were etched out until the Sharpies in the pack had run dry. There was buttons everywhere. There was really great hats. These people looked fantastic. They looked like activists and I wanted to be one when I got there. There was very few of them there and it did sort of seem as if the guest list was something that probably could have been on the activist speed dial at Whole Foods. I know that my good looks can be incredibly intimidating, but I think if you're trying to move people to action, you should probably engage them in some way, talk to them, hand out leaflets, something. But not one person came up to me.
The first barrier I sort of experienced was traffic was terrible. Look at this. That's how this day is going so far. So we'll see how the rally goes.
Afghanistan has been in NATO, United States, consistently in favour of peace and social justice, and we should take control of our own country. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Tony, on behalf of all of us, on behalf of the Edmonton Coalition Against War and Racism.
One group that does always try to engage people is the Raging Grannies, who are actually a national group with local chapters of women who are similar to those women you'd find maybe in the Red Hat Society. But this is like the left-wing Red Hat Society with a great big huge songbook. They were really entertaining, but they didn't really move me to action.
All the other kids with the pumped up kicks, you better run, now run my gun. All the other kids with the pumped up kicks, you better run, faster than my bullet. All the other kids with the pumped up kicks, you better run, now run.
This is me becoming politically engaged by signing my very first petition in Edmonton.
So far in Edmonton we've collected, well, it'd be 180 signatures today on this initiative of having these petitions read in the House of Commons this September of 2011.
So if I sign this, does this make me an activist?
Absolutely.
Awesome, all right.
You're being an activist.
Awesome, I'm in.
Actified for truth.
The will of the people want our troops home. What's going on?
Right. So you already know who you're going to vote for?
I'm still working on that.
Now, the other thing that really irked me is that there was little to no conversation about the upcoming election or about how to vote, which seems crazy when we're talking about Afghanistan and the issues around why Canada is involved in the war in Afghanistan right now. It seems to me like a natural progression to discuss using our basic democratic rights to vote. There's a lot of things to protest during this election.
This is called I Only Ask of God. And again, I know some of you know this, so please feel free to sing along. I only ask of God that He won't let me be indifferent to the suffering that
Yo.
My opinion on why I don't vote is because there's nobody good to vote for.
Be indifferent to the injustice that they do not slap my other.
So I think that our taxpayers' dollars should be going to things like, you know, our education services for our children.
But it don't be so simple.
Todos juntos, por favor. I only ask of God.
So have you read any of the other party platforms other than, say, the Liberals or the Conservatives, or have you read any of them yet?
No, I just keep to myself.
Do you know who you're voting for yet this election?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Me, I've always been politically engaged, at least the big chunk of my adult life. I have been politically engaged in one way or another, and perhaps it could be more termed activism. That is what makes a better country, and it's not good enough to get out every couple of years like we've been doing. To cast your vote, democracy must mean a lot more than that. And
we should be discussing democracy. We should be discussing war. We should be discussing all of these important issues. Let's talk about women. Let's talk about how far we have yet to go in every nation. But that just, it never came up. Really, what should have happened is you should have been encouraging people to vote, which is really the most effective form of activism in our country right now. Tune in for my next post on the Business and Professional Women's Association Women in Politics Night, where I got to rub elbows with some really, really interesting women in politics in our nation, both at the municipal, the provincial, and the federal level, and just some women in business within our community that were all fantastic women to get to know. Do you need more information on voting? www.onewoman1vote.org has all kinds of information for you. If you go to our section on voting resources, you'll get information about how to vote in other ways aside from just your regular go to the ballot on May 2nd, 2011. There are advanced polls, which are on the 22nd, 23rd, and 25th of April. There's mail-in ballot, and there's special ballot, which is eligible until the 26th of April at 6 p.m.